Hi everyone, welcome back to another week of Wonder, I Wonder, come wonder with me. That's right, I Wonder. This is a series of videos where you ask the questions and I try my best to answer them as we wonder together. But before we begin, if you are a kid in the sanctuary, wherever you are, walk, hop, skip, or jump all the way up front to the TV, and we'll watch and wonder together. And if you're a kid worshiping at home, wherever you are, get as close to your TV, computer, or tablet as possible and watch together with us. Now, stand up, shake your hand, shake your other hand, shake your foot, and shake your other foot. Now shake your booty, and shake your shoulders, shake your head, and shake your voice. Sit back down. Now that we got our wiggles out, our question today comes from Harrison. Harrison is wondering, how did God get the powers to create the whole world? Wowee! That is an excellent question, to which my answer is, I have no idea. You see, the people who spend a lot of time studying the Bible and a lot of time thinking and talking about God, they say that God is eternal, infinite, and outside of time, which means there's no end to God and there's no beginning to God. God just goes on forever. Forever in the future, forever in the past, and forever up and down and all around. What? Think of it like this. We usually think of time as a line. It has a start point and an end point, and you can only move forward. Unless you have crazy hair and a time machine.
Great Scott!
But what if God and God's forever eternalness is like a circle? There's no start point or end point. It just keeps going around and around and around in every which way forever. But then how did the God circle get there? Did someone draw it? And why is it a circle, not a square or a hexagon or Jeremy Bearimy? I have no idea. Here's the thing. God is endlessly knowable, which is really just a fancy way of saying we humans know this much of God, and God is bigger and more infinite than the entire ever-expanding universe. So someday we might know how God got her creative powers, but for now we don't, and I think that's okay. Because this is the same question that humans have been asking ever since humans could ask questions. Who, what, where, when, why, and how was the earth created? Now, I want to show you a map. Oh, map! You rang? This is a map of a time and place in the world called the ancient Near East. If Abraham, Moses, and Israel had a map of the world around them, it would probably look like this. Here's where the people of Israel settled down, in this tiny little corner. And all around them are Israel's neighbors. The Egyptians, the Phoenicians, the Sumerians, Babylonians, the Canaanites, Ammonites, Moabites, Edomites, the Persians, the Philistines, the Arameans, the Akkadians, and the Assyrians. That is a lot of neighbors. And guess what? What? You know how Israel's stories about how God created the world are found at the beginning of our Bible? Well, all of Israel's neighbors have their own stories about who, what, where, when, why, and how the world was created. And all of them are different. But how can that be? How can there be lots of different stories about the creation of humans, the earth, and the universe? That is a great question. And to answer it, I'm going to teach you a super fancy word. Are you ready for this super fancy word? The word is cosmogeny. Cosmogeny. Can you say that with me? Cosmogeny. Cosmogeny comes from the Greek words cosmos, which basically just means the whole entire universe, and ginomai, which means to be created or to come into being. So stories, the whole entire universe, and being created or coming into being. What do you think cosmogeny means? That's right! Cosmogonies are stories and theories about how the universe and the world as we know it was created. So like those stories at the beginning of our Bible, those are cosmogonies. Or maybe you've heard about the Big Bang Theory in science class. That's a cosmogony too. And all of Israel's neighbors had their own cosmogonies, their own stories about how the universe was created. There's one story about how a god named Enki convinced his mom, Nama, to make humans out of wet clay and then put them in her womb and give birth to them so they would do his chores for him. And there's another story about how one god named Enlil created plans for how the earth should work and be organized. And then Enki helped put those plans into action by summoning natural elements and putting other gods in charge of them. And there's even a story about a battle between the god Marduk and the goddess Tiamat, who was the personification of the chaotic waters of creation. And Marduk split Tiamat in half and placed half of her water body in the sky to make rain, and the other half of her water body on the earth to make rivers and oceans. So cool! Now what I love about all these stories, or cosmogonies, is that while they may or may not be scientific fact, they are engaging stories that answer at least 3 questions. Number 1, who created the world and what are they like? Number 2, why were humans made? And number 3, what is the relationship between humans and our Creator? A lot of the cosmogonies of Israel's neighbors in the ancient Near East centered around an entire pantheon of gods who were mischievous, angry, and violent. And the only reason they created humans was so that they could do the hard work of farming, cleaning, and taking care of the earth for them. So not only were humans enslaved to the gods to do manual labor, but the gods often complained about how loud and annoying humans were and always threatened to kill them. Yikes! That would be a thumbs down world to live in. Now, what about Israel's cosmogonies? How do our stories of creation answer these questions? Unlike in the other cosmogonies, Israel believed there's only one God. And this one God was so amazing and creative and powerful that she could speak everything into existence without any violence or death. Let there be light! Waters, separate! And everything God made was good, not annoying, and filled with peace, not chaos. When God created humans in his image, God gave them the job to cultivate the ground and tenderly care for all the beautiful plants and animals on the earth. And this work was not full of sweat and tears and hard labor. It was filled with joy and peace and wonder. So humans were not enslaved to God, and they were definitely not annoying to God. In fact, God loved humans so much, God was like, oh, these humans are very good. So very good that I want to live and laugh with them in this beautiful garden. Not far away in some pantheon in the sky. I love everything I created, and I just want to give it a giant hug forever. So even though our creation stories don't tell us how God got her universe-creating powers, they do tell us a lot about how gentle, powerful, creative, and loving God is. So now I have a question for you. Where do you see and feel God's great big love in this creative and beautiful world? You can share your answers out loud, or you can type them in the chat. Where do you see or feel God's great big love in this creative and beautiful world? Thanks for sharing, everyone. This world is pretty amazing, huh? I'm so glad I get to live in it and take care of it with you. If you have any questions about God, Christianity, the world, or anything, you can email them to me. Thanks for wondering with me.